Right now, this morning, a heated showdown for La Crosse's top job. Coming up, we'll recap the key moments from last night's mayoral debate. And your favorite bottle of wine could soon cost more. How new tariffs are hitting local wineries and what it means for prices on store shelves.
Plus, we're warming on up to the top. Yeah, we're taking it all the way into Friday with severe storms to follow into the evening hours. More about that coming up in just a moment.
This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Thursday, March 13th. We're warming it up all the way to the top.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that. Yes,
little
love
good
to
times
see it.
right there for you.
Sounds good. We're ready for it, right?
All right, well, let's take it away.
Yeah.
Let's show them what's going on, my friend. Thank you very much. As we get into it here, we're going to be looking at this warm-up coming in. We're going to see some 60s widespread today, some 70s widespread tomorrow, and then some near record-breaking heat moving in the forecast as well. Then, as we follow through that, we start to get a little bit breezy on Friday. We'll also be seeing the storm activity coming in later on into the evening hours and ticking up all the way through Saturday. So let's get to part of it right now. We're holding on to a few clouds right now to start out. This is over the last couple of hours here. And then we get into the current temperatures. You're looking at 20s out there right now, 30 in La Crosse. We're seeing more of those 30s down to the south. And Viroqua, showing about 38 degrees right now. What's up with that? Well, there's a widespread 60s, as I told you, for today. Getting into a few morning clouds already with at least partly cloudy skies later. Then we jump up. Those temperatures coming right back into tomorrow. 77 degrees for our high here locally. Then we'll cool it on down as we go into Saturday with a little bit of rain and possible hail in the forecast. Highs for Friday, well, you're looking at widespread 70s. Get out and enjoy that if you can before the storm activity starts to roll on in. More about this coming up for you in just a moment.
Thank you, Art. La Crosse's mayoral candidates squared off in one of their final debates before Election Day, touching on issues like environmental concerns to government accessibility. La Crosse's mayoral candidates had to answer a variety of topics. News 8 Now's Allison Fergut was a panelist. She has a recap for us this morning.
Childcare access was the first question of the night. In recent years, the city has taken advantage of short-term federal funding to address childcare issues, but that funding will only last a few more years. Kalo said she would get guidance from city departments on how to fund future efforts.
Work with the planning department to find out if there are additional ways that the city could help with child care.
Washington Spivey said he would use his connections to build awareness.
Advocate with our state and local legislators to ensure that we bring that funding here in La Crosse.
Homelessness has been a top concern for La Crosse residents. Kalo defended her vote to ban overnight camping in the city.
I think we need to follow the Pathways Home Plan. And I would also say that giving someone a tent to go to a park or encampment is not safe nor effective in ending homelessness.
Washington Spivey said the city banned encampments prematurely, which has hurt the Pathways Home Plan.
The reality is our city also has to be able to provide the services that they need.
Neighborhood change generated the hottest debate. Last year, there was a fierce battle over whether the Reach Center could expand its low-income services.
We need housing of all types, and I will say that the rezoning of that Reach Center took away housing.
But Washington Spivey sided with the center over the neighbors.
There were certain folks in that community that led a charge that was inaccurate, and also, to be honest, I would say an idea of keeping certain people out of that neighborhood.
Reporting in La Crosse, Allison Fergut, News 8 Now, this morning.
Election Day is less than 3 weeks away, and early voting in La Crosse starts next Tuesday. Milwaukee's WISN hosted the only televised Wisconsin Supreme Court debate. Brad Schimmel and Susan Crawford squared off last night, competing for the seat being vacated by Justice Ann Walsh Bradley, who's retiring after 30 years. The debate focused on challenges to Wisconsin's 1849 abortion law and campaign contributions from high-profile donors like Elon Musk.
No judge or justice should be deciding this issue for the voters of Wisconsin. This issue belongs in their hands.
I'm proud of the work that I did as a lawyer. I was standing up in court fighting for the rights of women and their doctors to make those decisions. He's got paid canvassers who are knocking on doors, handing out flyers that say, support the Trump agenda, put Brad Schimmel on the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
I have no control over whatever any outside group does. I will enforce the law. I will apply the law the way the legislature has written it.
Both candidates agreed the decision for recusal on a case is up to the judge alone. Minority veterans could lose critical support as the VA shuts down key office amid DOGE funding cuts. The Department of Veteran Affairs has eliminated its Office of Equity Assurance, claiming it is no longer needed. The Biden-era office tackled benefit disparities facing minority veterans. The abrupt closure sparked immediate backlash, with the House Veterans Affairs Committee top Democrat blasting the move, calling it reckless. Today, President Donald Trump will meet with the head of NATO in Washington. It comes as his administration is dealing with a mounting trade war and efforts to bring an end to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Yesterday, Canada and the EU announced countermeasures to U.S. tariffs. The president says he'll respond. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
A tariff tit for tat.
Of course I'm going to respond.
President Donald Trump is threatening to ramp up his escalating trade war after Canada and Europe announced new levies in response to his 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports.
We will not back down and we will not give in.
From Canada, tariffs on nearly $30 billion worth of steel, computers, and sports equipment. The European Union, roughly $28 billion worth of American goods like bourbon, motorbikes, and blue jeans.
We're going to be doing reciprocal tariffs, so whatever they charge us, we're charging them.
The chilling relations come as Secretary of State Marco Rubio meets with G7 leaders in Canada today, and Canadian officials are set to meet with U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick in Washington, an effort to wind down the trade war. On Russia's war on Ukraine, Moscow is now waiting on details of the U.S. brokered 30-day ceasefire. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says it could create conditions to end the now 3-year-long war.
We're going to know very soon. I've gotten some positive messages, but a positive message means nothing.
Meanwhile, Trump's Environmental Protection Agency plans to reconsider its landmark 2009 finding that greenhouse gases are a danger to public health. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin is also pushing to roll back dozens of regulations, including rules over industrial and vehicle emissions.
Yesterday, the president addressed the mass federal worker firings, including more than 1,300 Department of Education employees terminated this week. While expressing some sympathy, Trump defended the cuts, claiming some employees weren't showing up for work. He reaffirmed his plan to redirect education funding to the states. And a government shutdown is looming as Congress deadlock intensifies. House Republicans' continuing resolution needs Democratic support in the Senate to avoid that shutdown. Majority Leader John Thune is preparing for a vote while Democrats demand concessions to limit DOJ's spending cuts. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer claims Democrats can block the CR, but they don't want a shutdown. Meanwhile, Republicans are refusing to back Democrats' alternative funding plan.
I hope our Republican colleagues will join us to avoid a shutdown on Friday.
We are on the brink of a government shutdown, which will be entirely of the Democrats making.
If the current CR passed, it would fund the government for about another month to allow time for bipartisan negotiations. Representative Derek Van Orden addressed voter concerns in a D.C. update call yesterday.
We're closer to World War III, or have been until President Trump got into office, than we were in my entire lifetime. And I was raised during the Cold War. What we need in Europe is peace, and we need an enduring peace. And that means that there's going to have to be security guarantees by the United States and NATO with Ukraine to make sure that Russia does not repeat this.
Van Orden also discussed DOJ layoffs, federal funding cuts, and potential legislation to allow undocumented immigrants to keep working in the U.S. A Wisconsin clerk at the center of a ballot probe is now suspended. Madison's mayor made that decision. The investigation centers around city clerk Maribeth Witzel Bell and why almost 200 ballots in the November election allegedly weren't counted. The uncounted ballots didn't change the results, but 4 Madison voters whose ballots were not counted filed claims last week for $175,000 each. A Toma man will spend 18 years in prison for a Thanksgiving stabbing incident. 45-year-old George Solis will also serve 20-year supervision for the 2023 incident. Solis stabbed a victim with a kitchen knife during a family football gathering and attacked another relative who tried to intervene. He pleaded no contest to 4 charges, including first-degree reckless injury. A UWL student facing a sexual assault charge stood mute in court yesterday. The court entered a not guilty plea for 19-year-old Logan Zadanowicz. He's accused of sexually assaulting a woman at a dorm in Laux Hall. He is free on a $5,000 bond. An Eau Claire homeless shelter facing uncertainty, funding and staffing shortages are impacting Sojourner House. Catholic Charities of the Diocese of La Crosse says year-round operations could drop to just 6 months. Great Rivers United Way launching another round of the Impacts program yesterday. The organization partners with local businesses to create snack and hygiene packs for community members in need. Hydrite Chemical Company is the latest business joining the initiative.
Saw the need in the community. Our nonprofit partners have the need, of course, and our workplace partners are looking for community engagement opportunities, and we came in and offered this and filled that gap.
The packs will benefit local after-school programs. Stranded astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams were so close to coming home until launch time, when it was scrubbed at the last minute. SpaceX had to scrub last night's launch attempt due to ground equipment issues with the launch pad. The Crew 10 mission was set to relieve the Starliner astronauts, whose 10-day journey has stretched into a 10-month stay. SpaceX says it can attempt the relaunch as soon as 7:26 tonight. The time now is 6:12. Still to come on your morning news, the deadline for claiming 2021 tax refunds is quickly approaching. JP Morgan is now increasing the odds of a recession this year, and egg prices are dropping, but likely not for long. Recent trade wars and tariffs already impacting U.S. businesses. Coming up, more on how the wine industry is now being impacted. And for now, we'll send you to break with something to put the good in your morning. A furry friend decided to brush up on his reading skills at the La Crosse Public Library earlier this week. This missing pup strolled right through the doors. Librarians even decided to put him to work. He sported his own staff shirt. There it is, while helping check out books. What a good dog. Library staff says he charmed everyone in the building. Look how cute he is. And he was eventually reunited with his relieved owners. A perfect fairy tale ending. He's so cute. As you start to wake up this morning, leaving you with a quick wake-up call with the city that is home to the world's largest public key collection. Anyone know that? Denver, Colorado is the answer. Stay with us. Your morning consumer news is after the break.
At Maxwell White, we want you to love your water. Clean and clear water free from bad taste and odors. The water professionals at Maxwell White will test your water and evaluate any existing equipment, providing the best solutions for you and your family. Call Maxwell White today. Water conditioning done right.
I think every natural instinct of a parent is to protect their children. It's terrifying that Susan Crawford would consider a 4-year sentence appropriate for raping a child. Honestly, I can't even wrap my head around it. That she would allow a child rapist to walk free. My worst nightmare as a mom, it's really disqualifying. I don't think Susan Crawford deserves to wear the rope.
For over 25 years, Window World's provided quality products for homeowners around the country, including windows and doors. Every window we sell is custom made for optimal energy efficiency and superior durability. Plus, a vinyl finish means they'll never need painting. Just like our windows, entry doors from Window World are made to last, featuring a durable fiberglass construction that provides up to 4 times the insulation value of wood. When it comes time for new windows or doors, trust America's exterior remodeler. Trust Window World.
To everyone who believes in tradition, come enjoy a few of ours from Wisconsin.
People in Wisconsin love a good fish fry.
Really love. And we love sharing it with guests everywhere.
At Culver's, we still batter our North Atlantic cod by hand to order.
And we cook it to a crispy, golden perfection just for you.
For you.
For you.
So it's crispy outside, flaky inside.
Let us take care of you. With some homegrown traditions we were raised on.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Searching for gold at the end of the rainbow? Well, you can find it here at the King Furniture St. Patrick's Day sale. Get Shamrock with savings up to 60% off, plus 0% free financing, recliners, sofas, sectionals, and more. It's all here and it's all in stock and ready to be delivered. Plus, shop special savings in our incredible Lazy Boy Showcase. Let the shenanigans begin at the King Furniture St. Patrick's Day sale. Don't miss it.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. and Chevrolet.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers can get 2.9% financing for 72 months on this Silverado, or get $4,350 total value. Plus, current Chevy owners can get $4,000 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
Maxwell White wants you to love your water. Preventative maintenance helps to keep the love going. Maxwell White can get your equipment running right so it can last longer and save you money. Call Maxwell White today. Water conditioning done right.
All right, starting your day today, we have a few clouds out there. We'll eventually get those kind of moving out of the way and take us to partly cloudy skies. We'll also be getting into the forecast, holding on to the possibility of warmer temperatures today, starting out in the 20s and the 30s right now, believe it or not. But we're going to be seeing the 60s today. Right now, La Crosse is 30 degrees, Eau Claire at 26 degrees for you. You're going to see widespread 60s out there and about. What's up for Medford out there at 58 degrees? What's up, Medford? What are you doing? Get with the program, right? We're holding on to upper 70s. We get in the forecast for our high for tomorrow. Near record temperatures possibly getting into the forecast for us. You can see all those 70s out there. Warmer conditions, a little bit on the breezier side as well. You can see a 77 for La Crosse, 73 for Eau Claire. Yesterday I had Eau Claire at 74. We're getting the wind gusts as well. They'll be ticking up as we go deeper into the evening. You can see in the afternoon as well, holding on to the commute, getting into at least about up to 36 miles per hour by the 9 o'clock hour. So finishing our commute, some breezy conditions. This will start to back off as we take a quick break, and then we get back into more of that storm activity on the way. In fact, as that happens, you get a chance possibly to see a partial eclipse coming in. Begins at 12:09 a.m. Then at 1:26 a.m. total eclipse begins. Yeah, the blood moon is going to help us out here, getting into at least maximum eclipse coming into the forecast. Then eventually, this is the total lunar eclipse. Excuse me. We'll see this continue on till about 2:31 in the morning. All right. That being said, we've got more of this storm activity coming in, and a lot of it's kind of spreading away from us because of the breezy and gusty winds and that tight spiral pushing snow out of the way to our west. We have the rainfall, heavy stuff over the Lake Michigan, and as that continues on, we'll see some of that bring in some potential for a slight risk for severe weather in our forecast. When I come back, I'll have a better overview of how this will all shape up for you in just a moment, so please stick around.
In your morning consumer news, the IRS says upwards of $1 billion in refunds for tax year 2021 is still unclaimed. The deadline is just around the corner. According to the agency, more than 1.1 million taxpayers have unclaimed refunds from that year. The IRS says the median refund amount is about $781. By law, taxpayers usually have 3 years to file and claim their tax refunds. Recession concerns are on the rise this morning. JP Morgan Chase says there's about a 40% chance the U.S. economy will enter a recession before the end of the year. That is a 10% hike from what economists there had forecast in January. They say the Trump administration's actions, like its trade war and federal job cuts, are among the factors causing the increased risk. Egg prices may crack soon, but don't count your savings quite yet. The wholesale price retailers pay for loose eggs dropped 15% early this month, averaging now about $6.85 a dozen. While this suggests lower prices could be coming to the grocery store, any relief would likely be short-lived. Experts predict prices will spike again as Easter and Passover celebrations drive up demand. And the tariff war between the U.S. and Canada and other countries will affect the wine industry here in the States. Madison Wade stopped by a winery that says they've already been impacted.
Making wine is a slow process.
See behind me, we are working from wines from 2023 vintage.
This is Novelty Hill Janik Winery in Woodinville.
We are standing in our tank room. So this is one of the rooms that we're doing a lot of our winemaking here.
The winemaking process is never ending despite looming tariff tensions between the U.S. and other countries.
For us, we are anticipating how it might affect our costs to make wine depending on what happens with tariffs coming from, especially for us, from Europe.
Their barrels are from France, corks are from Portugal. And while they don't export their wine to Canada, others do.
Honestly, what we need more than anything is clarity and certainty. And right now, it's just nothing but uncertainty.
Chris Stone, the deputy director for the Washington Wine Commission, is watching the tariff tensions closely.
Overall, we export only about 5% of our total production in Washington, but Canada is our #1 market for exports.
That's more than 132,000 cases exported to Canada in 2024. more than $10 million in value. While wineries in Washington don't always export to Canada, tariffs in other countries can also have a huge impact on the industry. And those wineries are waiting to see what happens next as they continue their process of making wine.
We're definitely monitoring what's going to happen with Europe. That's going to really have a big effect on everybody.
That was a look at your consumer news. We'll send it over now to Art. He's got an update on our forecast.
I want to play with that puppy right now. That little guy was a cutie pie. All right, so as we get into it here, the warmer conditions in the forecast, abnormally high temperatures working into the forecast today, then getting into record-breaking highs for tomorrow. Severe weather will follow that, as well as breezy and gusty winds continuing on as we go into Sunday as well. And then the possibility of severe storms working in the forecast with hail, some stronger winds, and of course, we have the rainfall associated with that. Snow, we're still trying to figure that out. We'll get into the highs for today. Widespread 60s for you. A few clouds start out, then partly cloudy skies will ensue. Potential for record-breaking temperatures you can see for La Crosse tomorrow. Back from 2012, we could beat that with a 77-degree high for tomorrow. Well, yesterday I had Eau Claire at 74. Now they're at 73 degrees. Their high record there is about 2012, back at 76 degrees here, holding on to widespread 70s in your forecast. You can see everybody else is going to possibly, some other locations will probably break some records. We're also going to be seeing some increased clouds as well, to partly cloudy getting into mostly cloudy skies with those winds I told you about kicking in. We'll go through tomorrow. You can see as you go through La Crosse, temperatures starting out in the 50s with cloudy skies, getting into partly cloudy skies, jumping to mostly cloudy skies once you get in the evening, then cloudy skies with thunderstorms popping into the picture there, and so will I. We'll jump in to see also for Eau Claire, holding on to conditions around 51 with cloudy skies. You get into mostly cloudy conditions, holding on to that for a while, down to partly cloudy skies, holding on to 70s by then still, and then 40s, I should say, at 4 p.m., 74 degrees, and then 73 at 6 o'clock with more of that thunderstorm activity potentially getting into your way once we get past the 10 o'clock hour for you. We've got a bullseye coming in with moderate potential for severe weather. Fortunately, that's well away from us, man. That's some scary stuff right there. Then you get into at least some slight risk for severe weather. That's what La Crosse has. Down there by Waterloo and also a little farther closer to Chicago, you can see that they have a slight risk here. Chicago is still in a slight risk like us. Eau Claire is holding on, and areas around Eau Claire holding on to a marginal risk for severe weather. Most of that will kind of push to our east off of us by areas by Sparta, going all the way into Black River Falls. You can see right there, Wisconsin Rapids, as well as Vogue Field. We'll push this in, as you can see real quick to give you a view. We'll increase the clouds as we go through Thursday night, going into the morning for tomorrow at 4 a.m. in the morning. That's a light batch of light to moderate rainfall in our forecast, spreading out and then blossoming over Black River Falls as well as Sparta, going up to the north. Then eventually we'll be picking up a break and then getting into that storm activity that starts around the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock hour. It spreads out with another batch of that coming in. This is when we could see the potential for some damaging hail working in the forecast, potential for severe weather in our forecast as well, with light to moderate rainfall moving into our forecast. So that's a look at what's happening. We'll see more of that coming in as we go into Saturday night, going into Sunday. But then you've got this. You've got temperatures on the increase with more drier conditions for Monday on St. Patrick's Day. Back to you.
All right, Art, thank you. Feeling the heat could be your prescription for better health. Ahead in your medical news, why doctors say regular trips to the sauna might do more than just relax you. The surprising health benefits that could make you sweat with a purpose after the morning sports blitz.
Coming up at the Blitz, the Badgers preparing for a second meeting with Northwestern, plus the Caledonia girls looking for a first-round upset at state.
It was just a one-time thing. That's what Brad Schimmel said when he gave a, quote, sweet bargain to a man who sexually assaulted a 10-year-old girl. The sex predator served just 18 months in prison for his crime and got out. A few weeks ago, he was convicted of sexually assaulting a child again. And that was just one time Brad Schimmel let a sex predator loose on our kids. So why would we ever give him another chance? Brad Schimmel, too extreme for the Supreme Court.
Bad back? Get Good Feet with the personalized arch support system from the Good Feet store. Clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet, good life. The Good Feet store. Book your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Wisconsin, one of those places where families spend their winters among frozen lakes and snow-covered hills. With all the fun they're having, it's easy to take for granted how they warm up by the fire, or simply adjusting their thermostat. But for some of us, it's not that easy. Some of us need to decide whether to heat or to eat, or to further neglect our basic survival needs. We are working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans, all struggling to pay record heating bills. These dangerous temperatures aren't just uncomfortable for us, they can be deadly. If you are struggling to decide if you can put food on the table or heat your home, please reach out for a hand up. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
Make winter fun for your family with Mount Lacrosse. Season passes are on sale. Buy now for next season and ski the rest of this season for free. For 65 years, Mount Lacrosse has been making winter fun. Now's your time to come and see what it's all about. Stop out or visit us online to get your season pass today. Sale ends March 16th.
Blitz, final game of the day yesterday on day one of the MSHSL Girls Basketball Tournament. Caledonia ladies taking on 3-seed Minnehaha Academy. Redhawks off to a good start, up 8, but check out Aubrey Klug with the step-back triple that rattles home. Warriors down 5. Minnehaha star Addie Mack then taking it coast to coast off the rebound, finishing with the left. Caledonia entered the half down 37-26. Then in the second half, the girls from southeast Minnesota showing some fight. It's Klug with a couple spin moves and the push shot goes. She had 25 points. Warriors got this thing tied under 6 minutes left, but then it's Mack with 2 more of her game-high 34. Off-balance fadeaway jumper goes, and Caledonia's season comes to a close in the state quarterfinals. Well, Big Ten tournament action getting underway yesterday. And the winner of the Gophers and Northwestern taking on the Badgers today. Let's see who it is. Early in this one, senior second-teamer Dawson Garcia with a pretty stroke from the corner to put Minnesota up 1. And the Gophers trailing by 6 before Garcia is going to facilitate this time and kick it to Isaac Asuma. His attempt from the wing is money, drawing Minnesota closer. But the Wildcat offense with a big second half. This pretty much sums up the day for Gopher fans. KJ Wyndham somehow gets the corner 3 to drop. And Nick Martinelli with 28 points on the day for Northwestern. Here's 2 of them right here as the Wildcats pick up the first win of the Big Ten tournament, and they'll move on to today, where they will face the Badgers at 1:30. Wisconsin boasting the 5th most wins in the league tournament since its inception. And last year, UW made a run to the title game as a 5 seed. And also, Max Klesmit is back, so that is looking good for that offense as well. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
It's the 10-pound mega March sale at Holman Locker and Meat Market. Save on ground beef, chicken breast, and chuck roast. Please call to order. Holman Locker and Meat Market, your place for fresh, quality, local meat.
I think every natural instinct of a parent is to protect their children. It's terrifying that Susan Crawford would consider a 4-year sentence appropriate for raping a child. Honestly, I can't even wrap my head around it. That she would allow a child rapist to walk free. My worst nightmare as a mom, it's really disqualifying. I don't think Susan Crawford deserves to wear the rope.
Come to the 27th Annual Early Bird Home Show. Lowest prices of the year.
Windows, doors, patio doors, lowest price of the year.
Bath remodels, kitchen remodels, lowest prices of the year.
Pergolas, decks, or sunrooms, lowest price of the year.
Siding, trim, or gutters, lowest prices of the year.
27th Annual Early Bird Home Show, only at the Board Store, 524 Copen Avenue, La Crosse. TheBoardStoreOnline.com or call 608-782-8877.
Lane's Farm and Fleet's spring jeans sale is going on now, and we have a great selection of quality name brand denim at unbeatable prices. Right now, get a free $20 Blaine's gift card with every $100 purchase of men's or women's Ariat jeans. In our service center, select tires are buy 3, get 1 free for rewards members. And get our best tire price promise. Find a lower price and we'll match it. We've got the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. being original.
Style or substance. Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra. Or get 0% APR on select Sierra 1500 models. That's over $5,600 in average finance savings. We are professional grade.
For 49 years, they've brought you the best street machines, motorcycles, street rods, race cars, trucks, antiques, and classics in the Midwest. God's Country Racing Association's annual Custom Auto Show is coming to the South Hall of the La Crosse Center March 14th through 16th. Day passes and weekend passes are available at the door. God's Country Racing Association's 49th annual Custom Auto Show is sponsored in part by Curtis Printing Company, Premier Powder Coating, Big Boar Barbecue, Auto Value, and Holman Custom and Collision.
Holman Locker and Meat Market, your place for fresh, quality, local meat. Stock up with our spring meat bundle, which includes drummies, ground beef, chicken, steaks, brats, ribs, and pork chops. Holman Locker and Meat Market, and much, much more.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
In your morning medical news, a new report reveals most of the world's air is dangerously dirty, with just 17% of cities meeting air pollution guidelines set by the World Health Organization. Researchers in Switzerland analyzed data from 40,000 air quality monitoring stations and found the dirtiest air is in Pakistan, India, Chad, Congo, and Bangladesh. The most polluted major U.S. city was Los Angeles. Seattle was the cleanest.
So we're seeing that slight improvements are being made. Mostly those are coming, though, from the very developed countries. We still have a lot of hidden air pollution around the world. And I think the more monitoring will go on, the more we'll see, especially in Africa.
Experts warn air pollution could be worse than reported since many parts of the world don't have monitoring equipment. Last week, the State Department dealt a blow to that effort, announcing it'll stop tracking air quality abroad. Saunas have been mainstays at gyms for decades, but the spaces are getting new attention for possible health benefits. Bradley Blackburn shows us how some are jumping in.
In a cold New York City winter, these barrel-like saunas at the William Vale Hotel are a hot spot. The hotel rolled out its winter spa with skyline views and inside soaring temperatures that start at 110 degrees. James Volpe was recently soaking it all up.
The cold to the hot is just like the best in the winter.
The private sauna sessions are popular, booking up well in advance. And the spa manager says some guests want to try out a wellness trend.
We check on you every 30 minutes to make sure that you're fine, make sure you're not cold or too hot.
There's no question the sauna space is heating up. The Wall Street Journal reports tech executives are networking in saunas instead of old school bars. And popular podcasters like Andrew Huberman have praised potential health effects.
Regular use of sauna or other forms of deliberate heat exposure can reduce mortality to cardiovascular events.
I think everyone sort of likes how they feel when they come out of a sauna, right?
Dr. Gian Corrado with Mass General Brigham says the scientific research on saunas is promising.
What is it about sauna use that might be helpful to the body?
We need to understand exactly the mechanism better, but what we know is that blood pressure comes down. We know that studies of the arteries and vessels look to be more healthy after a sauna.
The caveat is we don't know how much sauna time is a healthy dose for different people.
We need more randomized controlled trials. We need more specific data on different demographics.
Plenty of questions, but for many, the sauna is worth the sweat now.
You can just literally come here and sit down and have some peace and quiet and tranquility. I think that's the biggest draw for me.
A hot take that could boost your health.
Doctors say saunas should not be used by people who've recently suffered a heart attack or who have other serious heart conditions. If you have any safety questions, speak with your physician. Wisconsin Senators Tammy Baldwin and Ron Johnson are backing legislation to make roadways safer for bicyclists and pedestrians. The act will be named in honor of Sarah Langenkamp, who was killed while riding her bike in 2022. If passed, federal funds would be used to cover the local cost of safety projects under the Transportation Alternatives Program, focusing on communities with fewer than 5,000 people. A local group is helping La Crosse remember its history. The Enduring Families Project performed at Holman Library, telling the previously unknown stories of African Americans that lived in the region in the mid-19th to early 20th century. They hope the stories can generate new conversations about the community's development.
Especially in a time and age where Black people weren't really meant to be stars in really anything, and so the fact that he came from here, that's a big deal. And so getting to hear that story and bring it alive is amazing.
La Crosse County Historical Society sponsored the event. Mount La Crosse is now closed for the season. It originally planned to close after the weekend, but these warm conditions forcing it to close a bit earlier. They will still host their Mountain Meltdown Party Saturday to celebrate another successful season. Airports in and near Green Bay are bracing for the NFL draft. Airlines now adding flights to Green Bay and Appleton. On a normal day, Green Bay sees about 20 departures and 20 arrivals. Non-stop draft-specific flights also being added to places like New York, LA, and Salt Lake City. 250,000 people expected to take over Green Bay for the draft April 24th through the 26th. A family of cats has gone viral after a Minnesota family built them a cat condo. Sydney Zatz visited them and shows us how this internet phenomenon started.
That's how I call them.
Located along the lake in Frazee is the Moan family, a family that's grown by 4 in the last couple of years. It all started when Mama Cat was looking for some food.
Basically starving to death. And gave her a can of cat food, and she inhaled it. And then, lo and behold, over the edge of the creek over there, we seen three round heads and 6 round eyeballs popping up over the hill, and she had kittens.
Lila, Lucy, and Larry, though getting them on camera was a bit difficult. Well, very difficult.
Hopefully they'll come in. They're a little scared.
Moan converted this doghouse as the cats quickly found a home. Around Thanksgiving, one of his daughters posted a photo of it on Facebook, gathering a lot of views.
A couple weeks later, over 500,000 people. Yeah. And I couldn't figure out, it was funny to me because I didn't know what they were looking at because it wasn't sighted. It looked pretty rough.
Around Christmas, his other daughter set up a 24-hour live stream. Moan says he's been receiving toy donations and money to help with food and medical bills. And don't worry about the cats getting cold. He's got that figured out, too.
We have some ceramic heat lamps. This is for the upstairs of this one here. And then this is for down. And then there's an extra 100 smaller ceramic heat lamps. So,
cancer patients and those in nursing homes have been reaching out, thanking Moan for the joy the live stream has brought. A joy that's also found his family.
I think if people would entertain the thought of kind of maybe building something or getting something, they might be surprised how much joy they get out of it. I know I did.
All right, check it out. We got a live shot of the cats for you, taking a live look at the cat condo. You can see 2 of them. They're upstairs. They're just chilling up there this morning. We've been checking on them all morning. They've been doing pretty much the exact same thing, just sitting and relaxing. Love to see them. All right, good morning to them. And now we're going to check in with News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett. He's got a look at our morning commute. How about that, Art?
That cat condo looks bigger than my apartment. We'll get into it here today, holding on to temperatures on the rise, getting into above seasonal average temperatures. Widespread in the 60s, with the exception of Medford there at 58 degrees, but they'll probably get on the page. Also holding on to warmer conditions going into tomorrow. 77 degrees, almost ran out of space there of our temperatures for tomorrow. We could get some near record-breaking temperatures in there as well, with widespread 70s in the forecast for everybody. We'll also hold on to at least partly cloudy skies, turning into mostly cloudy skies with some breezy and gusty winds. We'll see those winds up to 36 miles per hour plus, and then eventually maybe even stronger as those storms begin to tick up. We'll also see as you get into it here, kind of spreading in, you see those winds beginning to increase as we go through the afternoon, getting into the evening, into the commute there. You see up to 36 miles per hour once the commute is done, finishing around the 9 o'clock hour. Some of those winds backing off. Black River Falls, look at that, at 38 miles per hour. How we get into the total eclipse there, we'll see that blood red moon. We're working on the forecast as well, I believe. You'll be seeing that continue on all the way at 12:09 a.m. it starts, and then continues to tick up as we go through the morning hours. Then we've got the storm activity that comes in to really start to starts around 10:30 or so in the evening and then continues on all the way overnight with pushing that rainfall away from us and then getting back into the forecast. You can see that kind of trying to drag in some snow as we go into Saturday going to Sunday. That's a look at your forecast. When we come back, we've got your Buzz Report here right now. We're looking at the newest Avatar movie. Could be James Cameron's longest film yet. Right on, man. Coming up, we'll have more on his announcement around the upcoming release. Stick around.
Right now at Home Sleep Express, pay no interest for 5 years on Tempur-Pedic adjustable sets with free white glove delivery and a 120-night guarantee. Plus, get a $300 home shopping card. Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets available at Home Sleep Express.
Get solar and get saving with Olson Solar Energy.
The biggest thing I want to get across to people, whether it's via email or voicemail or text, is we are a local Wisconsin, family-owned, turnkey solar company.
We have project managers that will walk you through the process, keep you informed along the way, and make sure that the communication is the best that it can be.
All the financial benefits are awesome. And then on top of that, it's green energy. How can you lose?
The chips that you like are not on sale this week, so we're gonna have to skip those. Sorry, bud.
Aww. Hi, we're at Woodman's. I'm Clint. I'm Phil. At Woodman's, you don't need a flyer to find hot deals.
With our everyday low prices and huge selection, you can find anything you're looking for.
And still save big time on your whole grocery bill.
So I can get the groceries I want and save money? Looks like your chips are back on the list. Yes. Thanks, guys.
It's Woodman's.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 715-469-6907. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 715-469-6907. Again, that's 715-469-6907.
Get tax relief now at Homeworld Rugs with an extra 7% off sale prices on a wide selection of room-size area rugs. These stunning rug collections are now just $179 after 7% tax relief. Explore a variety of colors and patterns during tax relief now at Homeworld Rugs.
All right, well, good morning to you. If you're just joining us, we have the potential for breaking a record coming in for tomorrow. Today will be above seasonal average temperatures, but we're looking at widespread 70s tomorrow. 77 degrees for La Crosse for tomorrow. They're going to beat a record back at 2012, which was a 75-degree temperature. We'll crush that. Eau Claire, I had you at 74 yesterday. Now you're at 73. The high, the record there is 76 back in 2012. So you're a little bit of ways from that, but, you know, tomorrow's a ways away. We'll see how that plays out, but widespread 70s in the forecast for you. Ladysmith, 72 degrees there. I already mentioned Eau Claire. Caledonia, 75. You get down to Lansing, 77, as well as portions of Prairie du Chien. I think Boswell will probably wind up getting about 78, 77 degrees. But look at this. This also comes in the evening as you get into tomorrow. You've got that enhanced or moderate risk for severe weather. And, of course, the orange is enhanced risk. That's a little bit closer to us, but we're more so in a slight risk for severe weather. And, of course, you've got a marginal risk getting up to areas by Eau Claire. So this means for us here in La Crosse and the region here locally, we could could find out ourselves getting into about an inch of hail possibly in the forecast. We could see maybe a spin-up tornado, just an isolated tornado. Also some heavy winds getting up to 60 to 70 miles per hour in some cases. We'll see more along the lines of the 30s and the 40-mile-per-hour winds finishing out the evening commute, and those winds will get stronger. As you get into it to Thursday today, you're looking at highs of about 55 to about, say, 63 to 64 degrees out there. A few clouds sneak into partly cloudy skies. We'll get into some increasing clouds into the evening and overnight. As that happens, we have a smattering of light to moderate showers popping into La Crosse, kind of smack dab right on top of his bullseye there, and then blossoming out to more along the lines of Black River Falls, getting into Sparta as well. Areas by Shelby getting there. Toma, you're in there as well, getting into that, kind of pushing it out though by the 7 o'clock hour in the morning. And that's when we get started with the weather getting a break coming in. But all this comes back later on at night, 10:30 in the nighttime hours here. Light to moderate rainfall. We're seeing lighter stuff by us here, but that continues to whip out of the way. And as it does, we get another break coming in, and then eventually by the 9 o'clock hour coming into Saturday in the morning, we've got light to moderate showers on top of us again. And this is when the possibility of some severe weather potential could swing through the area. Light to moderate rainfall will be heavy at times working out of the area with the possibility of that area of low pressure whipping those winds and tighter winds. That's why we could see winds up to 60 to 70 miles per hour in some cases, maybe even a little snow trying to get in the forecast. That's how it all plays out. You're going to see some of this as a little broader view of this, how that wind continues to move in, whipping those winds, and of course that rainfall out of the area. We'll get into your forecast here, showing you how this all plays out going over the next few days. We're looking at temperatures warming up as we go into the next few days. It's about 60 degrees for Monday, St. Patrick's Day, so get out and enjoy that if you can. Back to you.
In your Morning Buzz report, James Cameron is known for his long movies, and his next film, Avatar: Fire and Ash, could be his longest yet. Cameron said it'll be longer than 2022's Avatar: The Way of Water, which he says was moving like a bullet train and didn't spend enough time on characters. But The Way of Water ran 3 hours and 12 minutes, just shy of Cameron's longest, 3 hours and 14 minutes for Titanic. Spotify is revealing record-breaking payouts to the music industry. The world's largest paid music subscription service paid more than $10 billion to the industry last year. Spotify reports the rights holders for nearly 1,500 artists earned over $1 million each in royalties through its platform alone. The company says these payments hit an all-time high last year.
We found 3 sets of human remains in one day.
It's unbelievable. A 5th person, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
The new docuseries Gone Girls, the Long Island serial killer, chronicles the police investigation into the unsolved murders of sex workers and their families' quest for justice. The case turned in 2023 when police arrested a New York City architect, charging him with at least 7 murders. The series streams March 31st.
So, what's your deal?
My deal? I'm just a regular guy with a regular job, but I've got this condition where I don't feel pain. Hey, there we go.
Oh my God, you're a superhero.
Jack Quaid plays a mild-mannered assistant bank manager who jumps into action to save the woman of his dreams after she's kidnapped. Novocaine hits theaters Friday. Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
How about Isadora? She's turning 8. She loves to go camping and fishing and enjoys drawing.
And ice fishing. She's ice fishing right there. Yeah, she had a fish.
Yeah.
Larkin is turning 8 months. She loves to snuggle with mom and dad and wakes up every morning to watch Art and Alexandra. Thank you, Larkin. That's so sweet. Yeah. And she's a big fan of Art's forecasts and Art's jokes.
Really?
You've got a big fan out there, Art. Perhaps your biggest.
All right, perhaps my biggest. Yeah,
fan.
I know, right? If you know especially someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Upload their photos to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button underneath the Home tab. Stay with us. We have everything you need to know in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is up next. Hi, Larkin.
Vladimir Duthiers. Coming up on CBS Mornings, NBA superstar Karl Anthony Towns pens a note to his younger self on how basketball will change his life. And actor Jack Quaid will be here in studio to tell us about his new movie, Novocaine. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
When my sister was murdered 15 years ago, Brad Schimmel kept his promise to us. He told us he was going to get us justice, and he did. When I see these commercials attacking him, I have a lot to say about that, because Brad would kneel next to my mom and hold her their hands. And you're gonna tell me that's a person that doesn't care about victims? I'm sorry, that is not true. Brad puts victims first, and that's the type of person that should be in the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
Protect yourself from the harsh sun with Sonesta retractable awnings and solar screens from Asher Lasting Exteriors. With over 150 fabrics to choose from and the largest sizes available, you can create shade to match your home and style. Use promo code 15 and receive up to 20% off your entire project, plus no money down, no payments, and no interest for up to 12 months. Connect with the Asher team today and request a free, no-obligation consultation at goasher.com or call us at 888-GO-ASHER.
Stella Jones Corporation in Bangor has immediate openings and wants you to apply. They say this job takes grit, attention to detail, and ability to work as a team. Stella Jones Corporation is where safety matters and wages sustain a comfortable living. If you have what it takes and can stand behind our railroads, then we want you to apply today.
Get ready to experience the impossible. The magic of Bill Blagg Live. An unbelievable side-splitting spectacular filled with mind-blowing magic and jaw-dropping illusions. Sensational, captivating, incredible family fun. Tickets are on sale now. Don't miss the magic of Bill Blagg Live. He's changing reality one city at a time, and yours is next.
Order at 608-796-3100 or ViturboFineArtsCenter.com.
Make winter fun for your family with Mount Lacrosse. Season passes are on sale. Buy now for next season and ski the rest of this season for free. For 65 years, Mount Lacrosse has been making winter fun. Now's your time to come and see what it's all about. Stop out or visit us online to get your season pass today. Sale ends March 16th.
Spring is in the air. Here you go. Oh! This is the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Cause you ain't seen nothing yet.
We make this show for you. It's so good. You gotta watch it every day.
Weekdays at 3 on News 8. First Warn Weather on News 8 Now.
Welcome back. It's 6:52. Time for your morning news now. La Crosse's mayoral candidates squared off in one of their final debates before Election Day, touching on issues like environmental concerns to government accessibility. Over the past year, homelessness has been a top concern for La Crosse residents. Last night, Chris Kalo defending her vote to ban overnight camping in La Crosse.
I think we need to follow the Pathways Home Plan. And I would also say that giving someone a tent to go to a park or encampment is not safe nor effective in ending homelessness.
Washington Spivey said the city banned encampments prematurely, hurting the Pathways Home Plan.
The reality is our city also has to be able to provide the services that they need.
Election Day is April 1st. Early voting will start next Tuesday. Milwaukee's WISN hosting the only televised Supreme Court debate in Wisconsin. Brad Schimmel and Susan Crawford squared off, competing for the seat being vacated by Justice Ann Walsh Bradley. She's retiring. The debate focused on challenges to Wisconsin's 1849 abortion law and campaign contributions from high-profile donors like George Soros and Elon Musk.
No judge or justice should be deciding this issue for the voters of Wisconsin. This issue belongs in their hands.
I'm proud of the work that I did as a lawyer. I was standing up in court fighting for the rights of women and their doctors to make those decisions. He's got paid canvassers who are knocking on doors, handing out flyers that say, support the Trump agenda, put Brad Schimmel on the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
I have no control over whatever any outside group does. I will enforce the law. I will apply the law the way the legislature has written it.
Both candidates agreed the decision for recusal on a case should be up to a judge. Dressed in military fatigues, President Vladimir Putin visited the western region of Kursk as Russian forces have now recaptured most of that territory that Ukrainian troops held for 7 months. This military victory comes as Kyiv indicated it is open to a 30-day ceasefire in the war with Russia after talks with U.S. officials. A Kremlin spokesman says Russia is still awaiting, quote, detailed information. Less than an hour from liftoff, NASA had to call off an attempt to launch the next crew of the International Space Station and rescue those 2 stranded astronauts. A ground system hydraulics issue at Florida's Kennedy Space Center was to blame. The new crew needs to get to the space station before those 2 astronauts can get back to Earth. They've been in orbit now for more than 9 months. Art, I just feel so bad for them. They want to come home.
They want to come home. E.T. wanted to get home. He got home, didn't he? All right, so as we get into your local weather, my friend, we could see maybe up to ½ inch of rain, maybe a wee bit more. We could also see some hail associated with this as well, and the winds popping in the forecast. So we get some snow, we could get a hat trick, possibly. I'm not including the rain, the wind in that as well. As we get into it here, our temperatures will be on the increase for today and tomorrow, above seasonal average with warmer conditions tomorrow with seasonal record-breaking temperatures. Then we cool it on down into the weekend, then warming back up for St. Patrick's Day.
Art, you're saying snow. I'm just ignoring that. I'm ready for spring. All right. Well, a growing number of Americans are saying they are ready to move to another country. A new poll of 2,000 Americans find that 17% are ready to go. England is coming in 3rd place, with its culture and way of life being the big draw. Food has Americans looking at Italy, which comes in at number 2 on the list. And the top foreign country that Americans want to live in is Canada. The country's high-quality health care and practical approach to work-life balance are the top given reasons there. Now, if you went into hiding, Art, where would you go?
I would not tell
Where would we look
I would
for
not
you?
tell any of you.
I would look for you in England first, I think, is where I would go. With my Sherlock Holmes cap on, and I'd be out in the streets of England in my little bug searching for you.
Hanging out with your buddy Watson.
And I would find you. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here at noon. Have a great day.